Hey there, saltwater anglers, and welcome to the Lower Chesapeake Bay Fishing Report, your local report, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. This podcast is part of the Great Days Outdoors Network, and each week we're talking with local experts to learn how we can become better anglers in our pursuits offshore, nearshore, and inshore. So, let's work together and keep this amazing fishery healthy and thriving for generations to come by remembering to protect what we pursue. Cooler temps have fish on the move, and our expert guides are helping us stay tight with those target species we love to chase. So, let's hear who's making the show possible and then jump into the reports. Listen up. AFTCO has a promotional gift for all Great Days Outdoors Podcast Network listeners. They're now offering a camo sunglasses cleaner cloth with any purchase of AFTCO products. For those cold, wet, or windy days, I especially enjoy my weatherproof fabric barricade jacket, as well as my helm insulated fishing gloves. All you got to do to get your coupon code is text LCBFR to 779-345-2918. You'll get subscribed to our email list, and we'll send you the promo code via email. Upgrade your waterfront with Killer Doc's premium dock furniture, built to last a lifetime in marine conditions. Crafted from marine-grade aluminum with a protective anti-corrosion coating, it's tough enough to handle the elements while providing unmatched comfort. Featuring sunbrella cushions with fast-drying, removable covers, our furniture stays securely in place even in storms. Choose from cabanas, club chairs, love seats, tables, and more to create your perfect dockside retreat. Durability meets elegance at Killer Doc. Check out the full collection at killerdoc.com today. Pure Flat slick lures are tried, true, and guide approved. Slick lures catch big speckled trout, redfish, flounder, and more. You can cast them a mile, and they produce a highly erratic bait fish imitation with a twitching retrieve. The tournament-winning slick has helped many anglers set personal best records. Whether you're fishing the OG slick, the smaller profile slick junior, or the versatile lil slick, one is sure to find that unforgettable thump we're all after. Visit your local tackle retailer or pureflats.com for your favorite color and rigging combination. Go sling some slicks today. You can't catch them on the sofa.
All right, you guys, welcome to this week's show. It's been all over the social channels. Definitely the topic of conversation has been this bluefin tuna fishery that popped off hard and hitting really, really good here. And then boom, before we could blink, it was over. So I thought the best person to talk to about bluefin tuna fishing would be none other than Captain Bill Pappas with Playing Hooky Charters. Welcome to the show, Cap. How are we doing this morning?
Hey, buddy, welcome aboard Playing Hooky Charters. How are you?
Doing good, man. It's getting cold, and you guys went out and some gnarly stuff and made some magic happen. So I'm curious, man. Tell me a little bit about the last week or so with what went on with the bluefin tuna fishing and the fly by night closure, and then how'd you guys respond to that? What'd y'all do?
Well, we have caught a fish, and if I didn't catch a fish, I probably wouldn't be on here today. So I'm lucky and thankful for that fish because it's an adventure to get to that fish. And you know what? I'll take you guys for the ride through a charter captain's mind. And not everybody's a charter captain or gonna go out here and try to do what we try to do. But we had a tough week, man. The bluefin season had opened, and right when they had opened, we had our boat in for maintenance, and during that process, we had to do the fastest sprint ever to get that boat back to the water and plop it out there. That we missed the opening fishable day by a few hours. So by the time it was 4 p.m. and we put that boat in the water, we went fishing. We went night fishing
At
for
4
bluefin.
p.m.?
Yeah, buddy, we sent that boat out there some miles out there, 15 to 20 miles out, and went bluefin fishing. Now hey, you know what? Will say I did talk to Jake Hiles in the parking lot, and he did tell me that he went out there and had one hooked earlier in the day,
Mm-hmm.
and their fish got wrapped under his cleater or under his eyeball, his toe and hitch, and he did lose it, and they were pretty bummed. They looked over it. They looked like they were getting ready for another battle for another day. I told him I was glad
Yeah.
to see him. We had a good combo, and we went out there in the general direction he suggested. We didn't go all the way there because we just didn't have that kind of time. And
Yeah.
we put over with some birds and some bait, and we had ourselves some fishing going on at night, and didn't catch one that night. So day two.
Okay.
So day two, we go out there full steam, full blast, and it's a Friday, and it is a nice day for fishing for them. We get out to where we want to be. There's a boat already hooked up, heading in. And we had tried. Now, this is what's going to happen to you fishermen, you boaters. We knew where the bite was, and we were told exactly where to go. But we didn't go there. Yeah. Not that we didn't trust the guy. Honestly, I believed him. But it's not that. It's that we had caught so many fish last year in one spot in our same area that we like to fish, and everybody who's fished out there knows where we were.
Yeah.
But anyway, we went and did that. We had to go pay our respects. It was our opening day. We wanted to go take a troll down there. We had, every 300 plus pound fish over and over there. And that's what we wanted to go do. So we went through a pass there. We had a feeling I had a feeling it wasn't going to be it. So I moved my way over to where I needed to go. And we had our first bite. Boom, we're on. And as soon as we were on, after a huge run, pow, it's a line flying in the breeze. We reel it up all the way.
No.
Yeah, man, popped us off. Popped us off, man. So, and we had gone through the stuff. We had gone through it, but something had popped off. So we had gone through it again, and we seen a couple more boats. Everyone's looking like they're hooking up. And I always tell them this. I'm like, nothing's ever a problem unless everybody's hooking up and we're not. And so we hook up again. And pop. Fast.
No.
Quiet. Furious. F words were saved this round. They were just saved. They were,
Just silence.
it was that kind. There's the first round is all F's. The second round, no lowercase F's, just straight up, just regular, and stuff like that. So you want to go over all your stuff, double check it, even be there, supports, assist. You never know how things can go, how big a fish you can have, how tight your drags are, how everything can be running, how everything's going to be at the beginning of the season. I mean, you could ride snowboards all your life, but your first ride of the season could be a little, it's going to be a little bit, hey, I'm putting the wheels back on the train, taking the training wheels back off again. It could be just like that.
Yep.
That being said, it's now all the boats have gone in. All the boats that are hooked up have already gone. Every boat is carty fish is long gone. And there's only one left. My buddy Brandon on Havoc's in there talking on the radio, and he's called it a day as well. So it's just us, as usual. Sun's going down. Haven't had too many bites on the troll this late. Bam, we're on. Yeah, here we go. We're pumped. Yeah, pop.
Oh.
First one to clip the crimp open or something. The second one's 2 pop, third pop right at the terminal. And so the next they say, and during this time period, they close Bluefin the next day. So we're during our only day. We've already lost one. They close Bluefin. We lose another. We lose another. Now we've got to lick our wounds, knowing darn well that we thought it was going to be closing at 11 a.m. the next day because somebody had said that on the radio. But we thought it was 11 a.m. It was 11 p.m. the next day, but we thought it was 11 a.m. So keep that in mind. So we have to quit fishing at this point because I got to hit the fuel dock. It's almost 6:30. When we hit the dock, when we hit back from riding all the way in, sun's already down. It's dark. And super mate Russ has got to run all the way to Ocean East, only place open this time of night, and get this last bit of tackle I want. I want to switch things over. And he runs all the way there, 10 minutes to close, gets in the door. They hook him up, give him the PHC disc, and off we go, dude. We got the stuff we need, man. So we're running.
What disc?
What's that?
You said the what disc?
Oh, the Ocean East. He made the disc. Oh, the disc. I meant the discount.
Got it.
I'm sorry.
I'm like, is this a special swivel we don't know about?
It's just we take care of them. We support them. They support us. It's a very good relationship we have with them and Prince and Distributing. Really like all the guys. So anyway, so we get back. I want to run some different stuff up there, and we change it up a little bit, and we go out the next morning, and we know it's going to be bad. It's going to be so bad that it's already 33 degrees raining, which is whatever. That's fishing. That's our life. We chose it. I'm not asking for sympathy. You get it. You know what I mean? But when we get out to the inlet, we're already jumping waves the whole way. And it's a 6 to 7. Did we get up to 5 to 6 to 7? 6 or 7 miles an hour going out. But I was smart enough to go down the beach, up the beach towards Cape Henry, probably about 7-8 miles first, so I could start to then head out, because I don't want to just take the waves head on.
Right.
I could angle myself back from where I was. I just aimed back, rode at 20 miles and 15 to 20, cut back towards the beach. I lost ground, obviously, but I could take a tack, and I got up to 7 miles an hour. So instead of doing 5, I did 7 because I was getting ready to troll out there. I was like, all right, let's just put over and get our butts kicked. You know what I mean? And then we got near the channel. There was some bait there. Got near the tower with some bait there. And I threw over at the tower because we were going that fast. But anyway, we continued on, pulled the stuff in, and we made it probably the destination we were headed. It was between 30 and 20 and 30 miles, somewhere in there. and it took us almost 3 hours to get there.
Oh my
So now,
gosh, that is
so now,
that is
and we
brutal.
had to push it because at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. we knew we were only going to get lines over for a few with 11 a.m. coming up.
Right, right.
And then somehow, some way, Russ was like, I think it's 11 p.m. We figured it was 11 p.m. Looked at my email and I was like, it's 11 p.m. We relaxed, put over, did our fishing. And it honestly, I did one circle of where I wanted to be because where we had our 3 bites the day before, basically. And where, I use a
Yeah,
map. I call the BPS, the Bill Positioning System, where everybody else hooks up or whatever. You just memorize that spot and put it in your map. If you have your map facing north, it really helps because you can memorize your positions. Anyway, so I knew where I wanted to go. I had my same circles. I had my same up and downs. I knew where my bites were and most of the stuff was going on. There's bird piles. There's bait all over the place. I've been fishing up top and doing all this stuff and staying inside when I needed to during the rain and slop. We're getting pounded, of course, but it's that day. I don't have rain suit. I didn't have it. I had it. I just didn't have it on. I didn't care. I was so. I gotta explain this the real way. After the three of the day before, with the season closing the way it was, after all the hoops we went through to get it, and all the gear and all the hopes and dreams we had to make our Christmas great by getting all these fish sold like last year, they took it away in 5 days.
yeah,
They took it away in 5 days, man. It was the dumbest thing I ever heard. So we were hurt, and we were against the wall now because we already lost some, and we had some fishing to do. And you know what
yeah,
fishing is not giving up. And we had to be out there the next day. We looked at each other that morning, 6 a.m. when we left, and we was like, we have to be here. We didn't want it. No, you wanted to go do it. You're like, oh, this is gonna be fun. We had to. We didn't. And you know what? It wasn't for the money, man. And it wasn't the clout on the internet either. Just, oh yeah, we got a fish too, like everybody else catching. I mean, that's part of, that's great. It is. Hey, you want to be like your buddy, all having a beer together. But at the end of the
yeah,
day, it was man over mission, solving a problem, getting over the hump, and getting things right. So we went, and it was
yeah,
determination too. So we went out, and boom, we're on. It's just two of us. We're on, and this thing's peeling on us, man. He's ripping. Man, we're on. We're pumped. We're hugging. We're like, here we go. It's running and running. We got all this time on this fish. And then the fish, I mean, literally sprints at the boat, man. I think we're not. Oh man, we start. So I get the motor moving again. Of course, I was moving with the gigantic, 6 to 7 foot seas, and some of the waves cracking over the back, trying to hit the back. And we were going with it, just staying with the breeze and the wind, just kind of moving with it, with one motor in gear. But I had to really get this boat moving. And this fish turned finally again, and the fight finally it came all the way to the boat. It seemed like because we bared it down a little bit, and then it just took off when it figured out I was near the boat. So we had a battle on our hands. It took us a while to back and forth. And Russ was mainly doing all the cranking, and eventually, some point, there were lots of points. I was like, "Yo, get out of there, buddy! Like, get out of there. Let me in there." And I just got in there just because I knew he needed a break. So I'd give him another 15 or 10. Excuse me. Then I get him right back in there, and he was on it good because we were keeping him on the outside. This fish kept trying to outrun the boat, and I just wasn't having it. And then we started to figure out, hey, this sucker's got to be hooked in the wrong side because it was on one side and it kept making. And I was doing donuts and donuts. Kept going for the motor, going for the motor, going for the motor, going. And we're going over and back and forth over these outboards. It's a little tougher with the two outboards, with just two of
yeah.
us.
I
Obviously,
know
just two
exactly.
of it was just
Yep.
two of us. So eventually, this fish gets himself in a spiral, and I'm doing on my sixth or seventh spiral, and I'm gunning it away. And I was like, "That's it. It's a hooked on the other side of his face. We've got to land it on the other side." So you make the decision whether you're right or wrong, but you got to try something else. Stupidity is keeping trying the same thing and expecting
Yeah,
different results. So I pull that
yep.
sucker up and over the thing. We get it where we need it, and sure enough, this sucker comes up, man. And I'm like, "Here we go." And it's raining. I'm soaked. I'm drenched. Oh, I'm the kind of drenched where it's all the way through all your layers to your, down there. Like I'm just drenched. It's just the way it goes. And I'm already in water down there in the back. The boots, I didn't have the boots. I didn't sit in. It was one of those. I didn't care about putting the boots on. I was fishing. It was cold. I didn't care. I just didn't. Anyway, so we're bringing this thing over, and we got the harpoon all settled up, and Russ is ripping them in. He's getting them in, and it's time for Sparta, man. This thing's finally close enough, and it wasn't close enough where it's a regular shot either. It was a pretty far shot, and I beamed this sucker, man. Boom, and I hit him so good that the dart goes right in, and of course it takes off. It's still pissed. And
Yeah,
I'm grabbing the rope like a dog on a leash. He's running with he had tighter drag when he got it there, but the drag's pulling out anyway. And we're losing this not we're losing line on the fish. And I'm looking at the ball, looking at the fish. I'm fishing him out. I'm kind of slowing him. We're both holding on to him. And I'm like, man, this sucker's getting wild, bud. It's like, dang. And it's like we're completely exhausted, completely already wet and soaked, and we're getting pounded. Of course, that's just, you got to keep adding the woo woo with these waves, which is whatever. That's what
Yeah.
we chose. It's what we have to do. They close the season on us. It's all the time we got. And so we start pulling it over.
And it's just the two of
Honestly,
you.
from the time, yeah, and it's just two of us. From the time we pooned that thing to get it back to the boat, because then it started doing like, when it was doing death circles out there, it was making the rope go over the main line. So every time it
Oh,
did a spiral, dude, it was doing rope over main line, and we're sitting up there, up rod over rod under rod over, trying to battle. I mean, we're just used to being fishing mates fishing on a boat, catching all kind of stuff. Tunas don't matter, marlin, whatever crosses up, you run the cross, you put the tips together, you run the cross, and you keep moving. So we're doing our
yep.
same stuff we always do, like bread and butter, when we probably just with two lines could have pulled on it and got it done quicker. But anyway, we cool this fish off a little bit from doing that. We get it closer. It's finally getting ready to die. It starts doing its spirals. This is like 20 minutes into that part. And it's time for the gaff. And it's two of us, of course. I'm pulling, he's pulling. I'm pulling, he's pulling. We get the fish up and over, and I swing for the gaff. The fish goes right for the motor. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, and then I already memorized his circle. So instead of panicking this time and running in, because that was it. I forgot the crazy part. Oh my God. Right when I harpooned it, it went out 15 to 20 feet, stopped, and went right for the motors with the rope and the main line. It went right for
Oh
while
my
the boat's
gosh.
got two motors in gear. Oh my God, I missed the craziest part. We got two
Holy
motors in gear,
cow.
and I'm looking back and forth like, oh, am I about to run in 15 feet? Again, I mean, it's just a long run to the cabin. And I'm like, all right, am I going to run in and kill this or what? Am I going to pull these motors out? While we're doing I had it loaded. But the thing went
Oh,
right for the motors. Russ is going, oh my God. He picks the rod up over the side and he's going, I run in full blast, cut all the way to starboard, right at the fish, and gun it and do two motors in gear, push him down, wow, spin the boat around. And when I spin it around, he's like, "Oh, yeah, we're good, we're good, we're good." And I can't believe we're actually clear of this thing, man. I just can't. And we're like,
oh
"Oh
my
my, dude,
gosh.
that was as soon as we pooned him, man. It was right off the bat. Then it was another
Oh,
15 to 20. There we go. Now I'm sorry. I wish I had told that in the right order. Anyway, so we've got this crazy fish that's already beat us once like that. So this second time when it's coming around, it's going right for the motors again. Except I memorized his pattern on his death circle, and I was like, "Just hang on." I was like, "Hang on, son." And I was like, grab the rope. And right when he does that, the fish does one more circle away from the motor, comes up just another half foot to a foot higher. I swing the gaff and miss, and I just reach in the water super deep, almost underwater, and just scoop that thing with the length of the gaff and pull him up to the top and run. I'm like, get the other gaff. And then Russ got other gaff, hits him in the face. And we're holding on, and and then the fish comes to life again. He's like, raw, and
oh,
we're tired, dude. He can barely stand. Russ is like, and we're fighting this thing, man, and oh my God, what an
God.
adventure, bro. We took a breath. I was like, yo, we got a good gaff, and we were trying to get good gaffs in it. He didn't have a good gaff in it. He didn't think. And I was like, you got it in the eye. I want to readjust mine for some face meat. I had at the top of the thing, but that was it. I didn't have it I wasn't deep in the meat. I was all the way out on the other side, but I was on the top of it, holding it pretty good through the fin's solid. But anyway,
Yeah.
so I get another gaff shot. Whoop, I missed, don't like it. I put another one deep in him, and then I'm finally like, all right, Russ, hold mine. And as we hold this gaff, we switched. And I freaking grabbed the other gaff, and I was like, "Yo, bro!" And I look over, and I'm like, "We got him, man!" And we just hug for a minute, and this thing
Oh,
flashes again. It ain't over. I'm like, "God dang it! Oh, it's not over." And he just lets us know he's there. So we're like, "All right." Russ thinks this to like 250, 60, 70, whatever it is, and he's gonna pull this thing in the boat. And I'm like, "No, man, we're not doing that, bud. It's not happening, buddy. Like, you're not that's just not."
yeah.
And he, after being all tired like that, so I wanted to tail rope it, which we eventually tail roped this thing and drug it for a little while to cool it back down. And it wasn't really that well warmed up because we got it in pretty quick and cooled it off when we were roping it back to the boat. But we drug it out, and then the hard part for us too was just because we were just I had a new system I wanted to break out. I brought an electric winch. So while we were driving around in these huge waves, and we hooked it at 11:37 a.m. too, so it was real early, but we got it
Yeah.
done pretty fast, and we got so I'm putting together this winch while we're tail dragging it, and I put this thing together in no time. I already seen it's just gravy, it's just two wires and some battery cables. It ain't difficult. But anyway, I put this thing together and I put it up on the side, and Russ is like, "All right, here we go." And then sure enough, it's got a remote control. I'm like, "Really?" And we were like, "Oh, there's probably no batteries." And sure enough, it works. I'm like, "Yeah." We just hoist this thing straight up, put some gaffs in it, and one, two, three, it over the side. Looking back, I mean, years past, I used to do that from the face. But for some reason, man, we were so gassed, we were so beat up, we were so exhausted from the days before. We had been out the night before, and just all of it combined together, and posts and everything else. That man, we just literally pulled that sucker up by its tail and pulled it in by its face and ripped it over. Because it wasn't like a 400 pounder or 350. It was just it
Right.
was right around there, a little less than three. And so yeah,
That's
we were
still a
so and
massive, massive fish.
yeah, and when it hit the dock, man, when it hit the deck, we were just like, oh my God, that's a nice fish, dude. He's like, oh, that's definitely a nice one there. So we were stoked to have a nice butterball on the boat. And from I don't know if we were the only one that day, but that's when we got back, whatever, for whatever time we got back, 'cause we took our time getting it iced and packed and cleaned it. And or it was earlier than that a little bit. And the guys there were like, because it was a long ride in. You couldn't even go fast on the ride in. It was another
Right.
couple hour ride in. So they're like, yeah, well, there's another couple boats out there. I guess they hooked and maybe missed, but I mean, I hope everybody did. But that fast of a quota, man, we got back,
Yeah.
got our fish to market, and it was great, man. It was a great feeling. And now it's just catch and release for us. And the problem I have with the fishery is that the reason we're shutting down Bluefin, not that there ain't enough fish, because obviously everybody in the world and humans are designed to catch the fish that are biting. If it's biting and
Right.
catchable, we're going to try to catch it, and it's seasonal. I can't catch a cobia out front right now. They don't need to close it.
Right.
There's no
Right.
cobia. They're not here. They're only here when they're
Yeah.
here. There only is enough of them to catch when you can catch them. You know what I mean? It's one of
Right.
those things that we know. So if there's that many bluefins, you can hook and release that many. I looked at a post from last year. This other captain up north released 6 or 8 of them, 6 out of 8, and I'm like, it's just like, man,
Probably,
yeah, I mean,
probably
like,
not a
okay,
shortage.
well, yeah, there's not a shortage, and the problem is we're governed by an international committee that says, hey, you guys need to let all them tunas go and not catch that many tunas so we can have tunas in our country. That's all it is. It's basically we want more tunas in our country too, so don't kill any of those and let's let them spread everywhere because you guys have the jackpot. And they don't do that for the Menhaden, but it's just like craziness when you think about if they're catching tunas from Massachusetts all the way to South Carolina, then what does that
Right.
tell you, man? Everywhere, like it just
But
means
there's a huge population.
it's improperly managed. It's not managed for America, and I'm not being political when I do tell you that they're not doing it for America's interest first. I'm just going to say because, man, what is wrong? How are you going to shut down the fishermen this quick? Well, how is it the recreational guys don't even got a shot at it? There's no meat for them. The charter industry we had last year because of it.
Oh yeah.
We don't even have striper because of mismanagement from the Menhaden people, over bribing people, and then now we have. And then now we have no striper, so it's what bluefin and tons of them everywhere. But no, we can't fish for those either because it's shut down for international reasons, so they can have more for everywhere else. And it's just another windmill, and it's another green idea, and it's another World Health Organization. I'm just telling you, that's what it is. It's another giant global thing to shut us down from being able to sell our own fish in our own restaurants. How come we can't just take fish to restaurants and sell them to them? Why? Why is it
Yeah.
so hard? Why has it got to be such a backward system, man? You should be a captain for a year as a charter captain. You should be able to sell your fish. They should be able to buy your fish. Why don't they have that? It's just terrible how they have it set up, man. So when it comes to the bluefin fishery, it's going to be a great fishery. It's going to be fun. And of course, in January, everyone's going to go out there and try and go kill their slob. And that's going to be fun for everybody to go wrestle one of these, test their tackle, test their endurance, test their strength, test their
Yeah.
reeling ability, test their will. Don't test the weather. We were forced to test the weather. No, I'm serious. We were forced to test that
I
weather.
know.
We
I
had
know.
to. We
I'm
had to.
curious
Our boat's built for it.
if you if you knew that you had the whole season, the whole month of December, would you guys have gone out on December 5th like you did in that
If
weather?
I had 2 more days to fish, I wouldn't have went out that day. If I had one more day, there was
Sheesh.
no way. No, I wouldn't have went. There was no. We were definitely not
It was
going that day.
brutal.
We had to go
Man,
because of that. They forced us into bad weather. Literally. I mean,
man, that's terrible.
I mean, I think it's almost you got to bring a water to a boil so you can hear it whistle. And I'm gonna whistle. I think. I mean, I know that honestly, when you make a fuss with these organizations and this kind of strategery, that you're talking about a flea biting 1,000 dogs, man. You can make one dog mad, but you're not gonna. You can rile up one dog and maybe get a couple checking you out, but if you don't get to the head honcho, it ain't gonna happen, and it's not. It's just one of those beating up the
Right.
Menhaden people. It's not gonna. You're never gonna get past that. It's got to come from the
Right.
top down. That's just the only way it's gonna
Yeah.
happen. So, man, this bluefin
It's
thing's
tough.
terrible, man.
It's it's definitely tough to, and I'm not commenting as a subject matter expert, just purely my opinion, as I've kind of watched over the last couple of years, decisions getting made and attended some of the meetings and tried to do some research and, downloaded and looked at years of citation data and really try to just understand like where does the decision making come from? And it really is tough because it seems like more often than not, the decision making just doesn't seem to really line up with what on face value appears to be common sense from what we can see as regular fishermen. But I think the challenge is, and you said it earlier about like just being able to sell to restaurants. It's like in a perfect world that would be the ideal solution if there weren't bad actors out there who would take more than their fair share, who would kill beyond their quota, who would, lie and cheat and steal. And it's because not everybody's out there wanting to do it the right way. And so it forces these governing bodies. I mean, I remember asking my buddy one time who's a lawyer, and I was like, man, do you ever worry about like job security? And he was like, no, human nature.
Yeah, that's true. But they still, if they could have a guy and they can have officers down at the dock checking charter boats catches, then they can
Yep.
have the same guy down at the dock when the charter boat comes back with fish to sale checking his catch. The same way that the Coast Guard would look for this or they would look for that, the same way. So if they can do that
Yep.
and the same way they do to recreational guys, they do that on the
Yep.
water and check their coolers and check their holds and check their stuff. So if they can do that there and they can do that to charters, then they can do that to people that are already selling their boats and they're going to have to regulate it. Now, there will be bad actors that are recreational that are doing stuff they shouldn't. There will be bad actors that are charters that are doing stuff they shouldn't. And even with this sale of fish, there's going to be bad actors that are doing stuff they shouldn't. So you're always going to have, no matter where you go and where you are, you're going to have bad actors. So it's not going to be that should not be their deterrent. But I understand that that's why they would set up a framework to dissuade some bad actors. But that's why they have the laws and the rules, which honestly, if they're going to let us sell fish to restaurants anyway, there's going to have to be some laws and rules there as well. You know what I mean? That's
and
all.
And it goes up. It goes up the supply chain. Like my family, Sam Rust, they have to be very selective in who they buy from because they want to make sure that they're not buying from people that are not responsibly sourcing, because then they're participating in the misuse of the fishery and the resource. So there's responsibility at every layer. People have to be responsible with the resources, but it is so frustrating, like with the bluefin specifically, to see it shut down so quickly because it's something we all looked forward to because seeing fresh bluefin on your local menu. And like last year we got to see your tunas flowing from the dock to the Sam Rust to up north, and it's like it was just such a cool ecosystem to see, and then to see it shut down so quickly.
5 days.
And the decision got made like for 38 metric tons, and we talked about it last week. That's only like on average that's only like 200 to 225 fish total.
Yeah, and it was only 17, and they gave us extra. They said they didn't give us anything.
Yeah. So back to fishing for a second. I am curious. You said something that sparked my interest because obviously January 1st is coming, and there might be the chance that we can go after them. You were talking about the side of the fish's face that the hook was on relative to which side of the boat you were fighting it from.
Yes.
And I'm actually wondering, I'm thinking back to the one that we fought last year. And I'm wondering if I didn't even pay attention to that because we had a challenge like you were talking about where the fish kept swimming directly into the motors and we just couldn't. I'm wondering if we had it on the wrong side of the boat.
That's it.
So talk me through it. How does that work?
All right. It's really common. There's 3 fish it's really common with. It's going to be the bluefin, of course, but we just said, and it's going to be the bull mahi. If you get a big bull mahi, they're going to just try to keep piling for your motors and piling for your motors. What you do, what happens is, and you got to picture it. If he's hooked on one side of his face, every time he takes off and swims, it's going to be straight in because you're pulling his face. You're pulling it across his face and turning his head towards the boat. You see that? So you turn his face, and he can only swim where his head's going. So you pull his face from the other. If you're hooked across his face, there's 2 things that can happen. You can get it bit off, but you're in the other side of his face. So you're pulling his left side of his face towards you. You say you're on the port side and you're in gear going forward, and you're in the back right. You're looking back at the motors. You're in the back right corner to you now, and that fish is on the outside of you. He's hooked on the wrong side. Every time you pull him, he's going to go for the motor and go for the motor and go for the motor. But once you,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, you pull his face across. So and even on yellowfins, the other fish. So, but the deal is a lot of really works really well. Now transoms boats with transoms and and diesels and stuff like that, they can pull it right up to the transom and do what they got to do. It's a big difference, huge difference. They got to worry about their props, same, just a little bit, but not as much. Nowhere near with
Yeah.
outboards. And outboards with a platform like we have, here's the deal. You want to try to, and you say use this well. If you have a fish up and down anyway to begin with, you want to pull the boat into gear and get him up. Raise him with the motors. Raise him with the boat. Pull him. He might look like he's taking line, but he's slowly coming up in the water column as you drag. Okay, use the
Okay.
boat. That's the main thing. Then once you use the boat, even when you have that one spiraling for your motors, you drive away from them. You want to let him take a little bit, but you know what I mean, or come out where he's far enough away. You don't want to go right into your motors as you make this turn, but you want to pull him off far enough
Right.
where you trust getting that rod out of the holder. And if you want to use a little bit of drag, you can. Just don't dead stick it and run across. I never recommend
Yeah.
that ever, but you put the boat back into straight for a minute. You're back into straight. You already made your turn. You're back at it straight a little bit, and then you put that pole up and over, and then you push the boat the other
Got
way.
it.
You push the boat the other way real quick to keep it on the outside in that perfect spot. You want it in that outside 90 degrees. There's a 90-degree angle of where you want that fish. It's on that corner. You don't want it near the motors, and you don't want it past the side of you. It's outrunning you. There's a 90-degree angle you want to keep on that stern. So then you got him on that side, and then the fish automatically he's already up. He's already raised, and he's on the side. So now every time you're pulling him in, he's coming towards the boat. And eventually, if he starts to do his death circles, they'll be back towards the outside of you, not straight under your boat.
Right. Right. No, that makes perfect sense. I'm almost picturing the way that like a planer works in the water, where if you're pulling if the fish is hooked in the left corner of his mouth and you're on the port side of your boat and you're pulling, like you
Yeah,
were saying, that fish's face is catching an angle in the water and forcing it towards the motors.
forcing his
But
face
if you
back
get
towards the
it,
boat. Yep.
yeah, but you get that fish on the other side as you're pulling it, it's
You're pulling it
forcing
by
it
the
up
hook, and
towards
you're
more
just
like the
pulling
back.
him.
Yeah.
He keeps trying to swim away from you, and you're trying to pull him towards the boat. And his move is going to be try to swim away. But that still is just going to be as long as you got it
Yeah.
in gear. And we had to have both
Yep.
motors in gear with this sucker. It was so frisky. He was pissed. It was
Man.
we had both motors in gear when we got him finally to the side and pooned him, and then he pulled line out, and then he went right across the other way. He's just a mean one, and we had to gun. I was
That's
like,
awesome.
ah. Yeah, dude, it's
That
crazy.
is awesome. Well, it was an awesome story because of all the elements leading up to you guys going that day, and then the fact that it was just you and Russ, and it was cold, and you were getting beat to death. I mean, but I agree with what you said at the beginning. Like, it wasn't about clout, it wasn't about money. It was
No,
just purely
man.
about like, we're gonna accomplish this thing that we set out to do, and we're gonna do it. And my
Yep.
hats off to you for it. So it's mid-December now, almost. What are you guys? What's Plain Hook you going to be doing for the rest of December, leading into January? What kind of trips are you guys going to be running?
We still have some bluefin trips booked later in the month, and a lot of it people. I mean, even going along for the commercial catch, you get to kill a fish. It's that feeling of bringing it in the boat. It's that feeling of accomplishment, and every human needs and loves that. You know what I mean? So even if
Yeah.
when we're booking now, and we will book trips, and still we're gonna try walk-ons. We've got two people booked for Friday already, and we've got three for sea bass and trigger. We're gonna be doing lots of wreck fishing still for the rest of the month, and we have some deep drop booked for Rosie's golden tilefish and maybe a sword
Ooh,
drop. So we're gonna try
nice.
that we have that booked at the end of the month. Those are available. We're gonna do lots of the trigger fish and sea bass while the triggers are still here. And they've been red hot for some citations and good eating. And we're still gonna do the bluefin walk-ons. Honestly, when it comes to hurting these fish and driving them around, and I feel a certain kind of way, two different ways, and it's like, so let me get this straight. Noah Fisheries. You don't want us to kill anymore, but then again, you want us to hook 6 a day or 5 a day. And I'm not doing it. I personally, as a charter, and I'll tell you this
Yeah.
right now, if I hook a giant in a day and if it wasn't first thing in the morning, that might be our day. That might be, hey, we did it, guys, and that's that. It's seriously, I'm
Right.
not gonna,
Right.
I'm not gonna run out there and throw mud all over my car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's our work truck. We're not gonna go beat it up. I'm not gonna go put extra miles on it. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to kill my fishery
Right.
or something, and I'm not gonna be the only one. Hopefully, doing that. There's
Yeah.
gonna be people that are gonna get a little bit. Yay, we beat 6 or we beat 5 today or 3 today, and I don't want to play that game. I don't.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just know ethically I have to play. I have to go fishing still. And if I have to catch a couple of these that every other state's doing around me that does, and I don't know, and there's people that run up with,
Yeah.
and I'm proud of these guys that run up on their boats, that run up there and cast at them and sight cast them and release them and stuff. I mean, that's great. I love the sport of
Yeah.
fishing. I don't know the mortality.
Yeah.
And personally, if you were to ask me, I think as long as they're in the water and they do a few tail kicks, they got a great chance of living. From what I don't know if you saw that recently, but the mortality rate of the striper was lied about for
Striper.
11 years of
Yeah, I
stripers
saw
for
that.
11
Yeah.
years. And these fish that we let go are surviving. They're not dying when you let them go. They had a mortality rate way too
Right.
high, saying that every fish the
Yeah.
recreational guy catches dies. Well, I don't think that's the case. And I think now look, you can get a bluefin shot on that lip if you know what you're doing and you've done it plenty of times. And the only way to do that is to get one, do it again, do it again, and do it again, and get
Yeah.
better at it. I mean, who's not? But you have so many people wanting to do it. And it's because honestly, if you could only kill and keep one per year, people would do it. People would go out there and kill theirs, and they'd probably be done with one more trip to get it out of their system. And maybe, hey, let's go catch one more,
Right.
but not kill
Right.
it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
You can't hide a fish that big. You can't hide that in your little igloo
No.
cooler. You don't bring your lunchbox and put a few sea bass in there. It's a giant fish,
Right.
and even a big cooler to pack all the meat away, you'd see all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not something you can just sweep under the rug, so to speak.
You
But
got that right.
at any rate, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in years to come. I mean, I think that I appreciate the way that you approach it, trying to keep a level head and work with it the best you can and still, make lemonade out of lemons, even
Yeah,
when
man.
the fisheries management doesn't seem to line up with what we're hoping for. But if folks are, thinking about a triggerfish trip or sea bass, which I've personally recently become a huge fan of triggerfish. They are so good to eat, and they're fun to catch.
Yeah, they fight real hard.
How do people get up with you and get booked on playing hooky?
Well, you want to check out the socials for one. They've got some good posts up there, but we want to do PHC. It's playinghookycharters.com. You can go to there. You can also email us, and you can call 757-619-3530 to try to book a trip. But if you get signed up for the walk-ons, you go to the playinghookycharters.com page, and you get signed up for the walk-ons. It's really easy. You send a text out, and you'll get updated once a week almost on a trip that we have coming up, or you'll be able to hop in before the post is made and get some of these trips booked before we even get a post made. And we're gonna be doing some sea bass fishing here towards the end of the year, and we're gonna be doing some bluefin, and just like Luke said, we're gonna do some offshore fishing as well. So it's not over, guys.
Awesome.
It's gonna get better, and this economy is gonna improve, guys. We're gonna have just so you guys know, also we're keeping our prices where they are because of the economy. We haven't raised or done anything better for our prices. We left them where they are because of the economy, guys. I mean, we're under a little bit of some of the guys, meaning 300 including tip, and that's a fair rate for 300 including the tip, because that's only 250 and you're giving the tip 20%. That's it. We're not going
Yeah.
over 300. We've kept it there, and
Yeah.
that's where we plan to keep it. So we're gonna try
And
to
you
do
guys
that.
clean the fish too, which is great.
Yeah, you get back. You have an option of getting your fish clean right there at the table, and Russ will
Yep.
take care of that for you. And that's just for it's $20 a man. You get your fish all cleaned up. If we get some triggers in there
Boom.
mixed in, you got 5 triggers. You're gonna pay $30 or something by then. Those triggers are fun to
Yeah,
fun to clean.
you don't
They're
want
fun to clean.
You don't want to try to clean a trigger. They are tough. You need a pro to be doing that.
Yeah,
And I'll just say this too, like there's lots of charter boats out there that you can book. Plain Hooky is a beautiful 29-foot Seahawk. It's got that cabin. It's got the lifeboat. It's got dry suits. It's if you're going to be on a boat in the wintertime, you want to be on a licensed, qualified, and well-equipped boat like Plain Hooky. So definitely check out his socials, give him a call, get booked. Captain Bill, thank you so much for being on the show as always. I love the stories. Always love the energy.
Man.
It's always a blast, man.
Another wild story, man. Hey, the reel's coming out soon. You'll see it. I'm gonna put them videos up for you, bud.
Heck yeah, man. Well, folks, that's going to wrap up a really exciting segment with Captain Bill. Y'all stick around for a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll be back with you real soon.
Pure Flat slick lures are tried, true, and guide approved. Slick lures catch big speckled trout, redfish, flounder, and more. You can cast them a mile, and they produce a highly erratic bait fish imitation with a twitching retrieve. The tournament-winning slick has helped many anglers set personal best records. Whether you're fishing the OG slick, the smaller profile slick junior, or the versatile little slick, one is sure to find that unforgettable thump we're all after. Visit your local tackle retailer or pureflats.com for your favorite color and rigging combination. Go sling some slicks today. You can't catch them on the sofa.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Black Buffalo products are intended for adults age 21 and older who are consumers of nicotine or tobacco.
If you're 21 or older and use nicotine or tobacco, it's time you charge ahead to Black Buffalo, America's only credible smokeless tobacco alternative. Black Buffalo dips just like the real thing, but without the tobacco leaf or stem. Get it now at Wawa, Circle K, Sheetz, Love's, Pilot, Racetrack, and many more that you can see on their store locator at blackbuffalo.com. Black Buffalo Tobacco Alternative is everything you love about dip, nothing you don't. All right, you guys. I wanted to do a little bit different segment to wrap things up this week. Captain Bill, man, he's just such a treat. I always enjoy getting to talk to him and hear his stories, and just the way he tells a story is just so much fun. The guy literally uh, eats, breathes, and sleeps fishing. So every time we get a chance to talk to him is always a treat. But I wanted to do a little bit of a what did you learn slash what's upcoming segment. So I want to go back to something Captain Bill said. We talked about it right there at the end. But as he was saying, hey, pay attention to what side of the fish uh, that it's hooked on in relation to which side of your boat you fight it out of. I really started thinking about like summertime fishing too with cobias, and it's a very similar fight, and that's something I had never really considered. I'd always just fought the fish on whatever side of the boat we just happened to pass the rod down to. So I think that's a really cool key takeaway that you can use for really any pelagic or sizable fish that you're fighting, an amberjack, a cobia. Once you get an idea of which side that fish is hooked on, adjust accordingly. So I think if we think about it, it's like it's sort of like an opposites thing. So if the fish is hooked on the port side of its mouth, you want to fish it on the starboard side of your boat. If the fish is hooked on the starboard side of its mouth, you want to fish it off the port side of your boat, giving you, the angler and the boater, an advantage. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, and I was hoping to have him on the show this week, but unfortunately schedules did not align. And that one of the side catches, and it can kind of happen both ways. Guys that are fishing for bluefin tuna will the bycatch will be striper, and folks that are fishing for striper, sometimes the bycatch is bluefin tuna. But Captain Caleb Underwood with Naughty Dog Charters, he's going to be offering striper trips as well as some bluefin trips when the weather's right. Upcoming. So if you've never caught a trophy striper before, it is an awesome experience. These fish, they almost look sort of prehistoric. I mean, I'm sure many of you listening have probably had a chance to go in the Lynnhaven River, off of a boat on some dock lights, or maybe in a kayak, and had a chance to catch a schoolie striper, which is still a ton of fun, and it's something that you've got to do. But catching a true giant striper is like nothing else. I've only had the opportunity to do it one time. I'll share that story with you in a minute, but seeing one of those gigantic bass come up and get to hold it is really incredible. I think it was the year 2016, and my good buddy Brad Herndon, who at the time was with Oyster Cove Boatworks, he's now down at Atlantic Marine in Wilmington, selling the beautiful Grady Whites down there. So shout out to Brad, who's also a fellow Mako owner, like myself. He's got a Mako, I believe it is the 231 with the tower, the Carolina Girl, but it was that exact boat that he and I decided we were going to take that thing. We were going to catch a striper. So it was just the two of us early in the morning. Put the tower down, had it all loaded up on the trailer. He had everything rigged up and ready to go. All the planer boards, the eels, the whole nine, all the stuff that you need to catch a trophy striper. And we hauled that thing across the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel over to the eastern shore, and went right in there by I guess it would be Cape Charles, and then Bay Creek. I'm sorry, Bay Creek. And there's a launch there by Kiptapeak. So we launched the boat. We're following the channel out. We just get outside of the channel into the bay there, which I think is like the Cherrystone Channel or whatever that is, that little gut. And we turn right, and we put the throttle down, and we get rolling. Well, within about 2 miles, we hear what sounds like marbles in a dryer, just ping, 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 ping. And we're like, what is going on? And we start to lose power. And sure enough, the at the time, two-stroke Yamaha motor completely erupted. I mean, I think it threw a rod through the side of the engine. I mean, it was bad. Thing was barely staying on, and we turned around and just limped back in. I mean, you want to talk about disappointment to go from, getting up at, 4 in the morning. We were across the bridge, at like 5:15 and in the water at, before daylight. And then to have this happen was just awful. But where the story kind of takes an interesting turn is we had a good buddy. His name is Zach Duke, and he's got this beautiful 26 Southport. And we had asked him if he wanted to go, but he had some commitments the night before and just wasn't able to be, up that early. I think there might have been some Miller Lite involved or something along those lines. But just kidding, Zach, if you're listening. So he couldn't come that early in the morning. So we're headed back across, and Zach's curious to know how the fishing's going. So he calls us and, hey, what's going on? How's the fishing going? And we're like, man, it's not. We're headed back. Boat, motor, shot. He goes, well, guys, it sounds like you've got everything that we need to go fishing except a boat, and I've got a boat that's ready to go fishing. And we're like, are you saying what we think you're saying? So sure enough, man, we haul across that bridge. We get back to Brad's house at the time, right there off Shore Drive and Bay Lake Pines, and we drop the boat in the trailer and we shoot up to Little Creek where Zach is waiting for us with his boat fueled up and ready to go. We offload all the gear. We take off on that Southport. And it was a beautiful day. The bay was completely calm. And we fire across the bay going like, I think 40 miles an hour, top that thing out, maybe even faster. And we get over to the fishing grounds, exactly where we were earlier that morning. We get all the lines in, we get set, and we get our bump troll going. And if anybody, has done this kind of fishing before, bump troll, like there's a very specific speed that those stripers will hit at. And you've got to be at it. Otherwise, there's a good chance they're not going to hit. It's kind of in that like 2 to 3 mile an hour range, roughly. So we get the lines in, and bang, within like 10 minutes, we get a bite. And I'm going back in my phone here to look at the picture, but I believe it was a citation that ended up weighing 48 pounds. And what even made that fish even more special to me was I had just had knee surgery, and I really wasn't supposed to be doing any sort of an activity. And I said, screw it, I'm going fishing. And I did. And boy, am I glad I did, because man, that was just such a special memory to me to go from basically being blown up, not being able to fish, to fishing, and then catching a citation striped bass, which again, those fish are just huge and awesome. Yeah, she was 48 pounds. So really, really nice size fish. Ate great. Just an awesome experience. So got to give it up to my man Brad Herndon and Zach Duke, because it wouldn't have been possible without them. So that really just kind of sticks in my brain as a really special memory to get up with the boys, and it's cold outside and you got all your gear on, and you go through all the hard work of getting those lines set, and then when you get that bite, that clicker goes off and you get a chance to look at that big beautiful striped bass, it is something. So I will say, if you guys are listening to this and you're thinking, hey, I've got some family coming into town for Christmas, or whatever the case might be, definitely look up Naughty Dog Charters, Captain Caleb Underwood. Give him a shout. That way that you can get out there and get on a great fish with your loved ones, your spouse, your brothers, whomever. It's definitely worth it. So Captain Caleb can be reached at 757-641-9199. And then the next thing that I want to talk about a little bit is the Seakeeper ride system. So if anybody out there has a tab boat, trim tabs, firsthand that it can be a little bit of a learned science before you've really got your boat dialed in to where you're getting optimal, bow down, engine RPMs up, premium fuel economy, all the things. There's quite a bit of balance that goes on to really get the boat and the attitude right. So over the years, I've got a Mako 261. A good friend of mine, Dave, has a Marlin 35. My other good friend, Eric Heath, has a Southern Cross 25. And then just got a chance to talk with Whitney Graham with Leased Up Sport Fishing on that 39 Invincible. Um, so the 39 Invincible and the Southern Cross both have the Seakeeper ride system, and I got a chance to talk to both of those guys, and opportunity to ride on the Southern Cross. And I'll tell you what, there's no good explanation with words. You have to experience it for yourself. The best way I could describe it would be to say you kind of are waiting for the other shoe to drop, when you go over a wave, and then it just never drops. You land flat with the keel cutting perfectly square into the next wave. Movement back and forth across the boat doesn't do anything. I would say in our lifetime, kind of like hands-free Bluetooth and backup cameras are now standard in vehicles. I have to believe that the Seakeeper ride is going to be the new standard in the not too distant future for any new production boat. In fact, I was talking to Scott Brown, who's the regional sales manager for Sportsman Boats the other day, and all of their new production boats are coming standard with the Seakeeper ride system. So the best way to think about it is, the ride system has an equilibrium, and it uses aviation technology along with some NASA technology, I believe. I might get that part wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's a combination of two of those types of technologies that really operate, taking, I think it's 1,000 measurements per second and making 100 movements per second that are able to keep your boat running in the optimal attitude and position for comfort, and top hole shot speed. And all those things combined, you're also, the benefit is you're not having to think about it. You're not having to adjust anything or do anything. It's just all being done for you. So it really piqued my interest hearing these different guys, talk about their systems, getting to, ride on the Southern Cross that had it. And that boat in particular, I mean, it's got a 10-foot beam, and not a very sharp dead rise. So prior to the ride system, I mean, in any sort of a chop, I mean, you felt it. It really jarred your knees pretty good. And now that thing rides like a whole different boat. It feels like it's got way more dead rise, super sharp keel. You're actually feeling and seeing the boat work. I've actually got a couple of cool videos of him running where you can really just see that boat just staying right up on top, perfectly level and flat, and just cutting across the surface of the water. So the good news is there are some local folks that do this. I got a chance to talk with Justin from Seakeeper, who's one of the reps that handles our region, as well as Brandon overall with 110 Marine, who's currently in the process of installing the ride system on my buddy's 35 Marlin. So we're going to get to experience that thing firsthand. So just wanted to kind of drop this as a little teaser. I'm going to have Brandon on here in the near future to really go into some of the technical specs, pricing, the install process, so that we can really get our heads wrapped around what all is involved with the Seakeeper ride system. So I think it's going to be a really cool segment to learn about. So you guys are curious and want to start the shopping process now, the 110 Marine is the name of his business. And then you can reach him, Brandon. Let me pull up his number here. Brandon overall at 757-342-8059. And one of the things I like about Brandon a lot is, he's been doing this for a little while now. Seakeeper puts their stamp on him as an approved dealer. But Brandon's been fishing the local waters for a long, long time. He's from Seaford, Virginia. He has spent a lot of time out there with Captain Zach Hoffman with Clockwork. And if you know that name, you know that boat catches fish. They're incredibly renowned in the cobia fishery. Countless tournament wins. They do great kids camps. Lots of really cool stuff there. So really great guy. Doing an awesome job up there. High quality work, beautiful shop, nice new shop that he's built there. So definitely excited to have that conversation with him and get more in depth on the Seakeeper ride system. With that said, we just had some snow, which was kind of strange for Virginia, and we've got some cooler temperatures coming up, but that doesn't mean that the fishing needs to slow down. So in closing this week, I would just say for anybody that is going fishing on a boat, remember your safety protocols. Remember to take time to do your float plans, proper gear checks, go through your systems, make sure your bilge pumps are working, both of them. If you have two bilge pumps, don't be satisfied with just one working. And make sure you've got ample fuel on board, because when the water's cold and the air is cold, any time spent out on the water beyond what you planned for could be deadly. So wish you guys safe treks ahead. And again, for those that are chasing those bluefins, right now it's catch and release only. And I think in January, there's a chance that we'll have a recreational season. Again, be thinking safety. No fish is worth your life. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this week's show, and we'll look forward to catching up with you next week. Be safe out there.
Serious shallow water anglers count on Stay Put Anchor to do exactly what the name says. Keep smaller boats locked in place. Fast, quiet, and without dropping a heavy, noisy hook. Built in the USA and designed for boats under 24 feet, Stay Put's solid fiberglass pole spikes pair with marine-grade bow, stern, or drill-free motor mounts for quick installation. So more time spent fishing and less rigging. Choose from 6-foot to 12-foot pole options and the versatile super handle to stake out on flats, sandbars, or in the pads. Affordable, dependable, and proven by anglers nationwide. Learn more or build a custom kit at stayputanchor.com. All right, y'all, that's going to wrap it up this week. Please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you listen to podcasts. And remember, to get your free AFCO Camo Sunglasses Cleaner Cloth, text the acronym LCBFR to 779-345-2918 to get your promo code and be added to our email list so we can send you the new show each week. You guys keep on whacking them and be safe out there.